to get rid of a couple chairs? All right, here we go. Good afternoon. Welcome to all that took some time out to be here in attendance. Especially like to thank those watching online on bluegolds.com, our Blue Gold Sports Network, and TV 10. It's an exciting day to be on campus, a new day to announce our 16th head coach in the history of the program. But first, I'm going to reflect on a few things that have gone on since late November. First of all, there's a picture frame in my office that I've carried ever since college. It's a typed out statement. It's basically from one of my childhood idols. He's probably one of the most famous football coaches that's ever carried a whistle. His name's Bo Schembechler, and he was the Hall of Fame coach from the University of Michigan. I spent a lot of time as a youngster being around that program. And in a certain big game where the AD, administrators, boosters, players and coaches were gathered in a locker room, and he gave a passionate plea to the locker room right before it, and he said, nobody is important as the team. No player is as important as the team. No coach is more important than the team. The team, the team, the team. We have a great team here at the university. This has been a collective effort to get to this point, to make today possible. Back in November, I talked about an aggressive timeline that we proposed and referred to the Chancellor's office. It was a timeline that would need teamwork to meet it. The proposal was based on a concern I had on recruiting, retention of our current roster, competitive advantage, and also the marketplace. The team here at the university supported that strategy, top to bottom. Brings us here today. Part of that team, those are people that I need to thank. Of course, Chancellor Schmidt for his leadership through this process. Our Provost, Dr. Pat Klein, our Dean of Students, Dr. Joe Abehold, Dr. Beth Hellwig, our Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, Kim Way, our Foundation Executive Director, Mike Rindo, our Assistant Chancellor for University Relations, Teresa O'Halloran in University Legal, David Miller, our HR Director, Barb Hansen in Human Resources, Nancy Hendricks, who was a workhorse and did everything possible to get this day to here, along with Robin Baker and Jill Millis. Lastly, the search committee. Some of you are in here. I'm not going to name names because the search committee deserves that type of privacy. It was a very discreet search as we went through the process. It was a university decision to handle the process that way. And the search committee knows who they are and the work and the hours that they put in and the due diligence that they put in reviewing almost over 100 applicants. As the process took shape, we were extremely happy as a search committee, as a director of athletics, for the quality pool of candidates we did have. But as we got down to it and reflected on the process, we arrived at a great decision. We arrived with a person that's going to be highly impactful to our program and an awesome addition to our university. Today, I would like to welcome Dan Larson, his wife Erin, their daughter Stella, and their son Oliver back home to Eau Claire, back home to Blue Gold country. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Larson, the 16th coach in the history of Blue Gold football. The table's yours.
Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. This is it's a great day for myself and my family, something I've looked forward to as long as I've been in coaching for 14 years now for this type of opportunity, but I think even more so once everything became kind of official on Saturday. I would like to thank Chancellor Schmidt for being here, Kim with the foundation, Vice Chancellor Helwig, who wasn't here today but met with me when I was on campus on Monday. From an alumni standpoint, the direction of this campus, the building on things and becoming stronger than what Eau Claire has always been, but building upon those strengths has been awesome to see, and I know you guys play a huge role in that, so thank you for that. If I could thank Dan Schumacher, the vision and the excitement that's around the athletic department right now is really evident when I stepped on campus. It's an exciting thing to be a part of. I'm excited to share your vision and to build upon what it is and what we think that Eau Claire athletics can be. The search committee as well, it becomes a full-time job on top of your full-time jobs. And so I know just the effort that you guys put into this, to go through all the resumes, to go through the phone conversations and on-campus interviews and everything that you did, thank you for that. I had a chance when I came on campus to meet with the coaches and administrators that are part of the athletic department here. And to kind of see their enthusiasm, to see their belief in terms of what we can do here from an athletic department standpoint, their belief in what the athletic director, Dan, is doing here, and just taking the time to talk with me. I know it's a busy time of the year. Some of you are in season, some of you are recruiting. To take time out of your day on Monday when I was here, I appreciate that. I'm extremely excited to be working alongside of you, to cheering your teams on, and to being a part of this athletic department, so thank you for that. It's one of those things where they talk about as a football coach and as athletic coach is that, your decisions are based on 18 to 22-year-olds. Your happiness, your highs and your lows are based on 18 to 22-year-olds. Probably a harder job is being married to a football coach, especially being married to me. So it's not an easy job whatsoever. My wife, Erin, daughter Stella and Oliver, who probably have no idea what's going on right now, but they will at some point in the day, and how big of a day this is for me and for our family. But your support, no matter wins or losses, I love you guys for that, and I appreciate everything that you do that allows me to be a football coach, now to be the head football coach at Eau Claire, so thank you. My wife was a blue gold soccer player here. She played for Coach Yango. Part of this is us coming home, like Dan had mentioned before. I got family and friends here as well. Thank you guys for taking the time to come up here. This is something I look forward to sharing with all of you on every Saturday, and thank you for taking the time. If I could say one last part of this too is just thanks to I got a couple teammates in here and some alumni for coming. This is, all I'm doing is calling plays and organizing practices. This is your program just as much as it is mine, just as much as it is the players. Every opportunity that these guys have, the opportunity that I have to coach here is all because of what former Blue Gold players have given in the past. And I want you guys to feel like you can be a part of this program again. Come back on campus, be around our players, show them not only what it meant to be a player, but what this university and this campus and this degree has done for you guys once you have left as well. But thank you for being here. Thank you for text messages, phone calls, everything that's happened since Saturday from an alumni standpoint has been awesome. I can't wait to talk with you all and get you back on campus. I don't get a lot of opportunities and I don't get a lot of chances to thank people, and there's a lot of people that have played a role in me being able to be here today, so you can just bear with me for a couple minutes while I say a couple quick thank yous. But I was extremely fortunate to grow up in a town of Baldwin, Wisconsin, and it's a very tight community, very passionate about their sports teams, and to grow up, to see packed gyms, to see King Field on Friday nights, made a lasting impression on me in terms of being involved with athletics. And a lot of what I'm doing now as a coach, I think, is a direct correlation in terms of how those coaches that I had growing up impacted me. Guys like Wade Lebecki, Scott Benoit, Dan Kiefer, Bruce Ashland, Don Nelson, those guys challenged me. They challenged you as a player to be better. They patted you on the back when you did something great, and above all, they were able to laugh and have fun with you and be a person around you and be a role model. And a lot of how I coach is a direct reflection, I think, of growing up around those type of coaches and being impacted by those types of coaches at a young age. So no idea whether they're watching or not, but they've had a huge impact as me now as I've become a coach and have gotten older, and I want to thank them for that. I grew up 45 minutes away from Eau Claire and never knew really anything about Eau Claire. This was like the biggest town in the world when you come from a place like Baldwin, Wisconsin. And coming on campus here, Coach Nielsen, Coach Steger, 18 years ago, really opened my eyes up to what Eau Claire was as a community and what they thought it could be as a football program. I'm forever indebted for them to just having me look at something outside of lacrosse and River Falls, which at that point in time were the big football schools in the WIAC. Coach Hoffner came in after my second year and really pushed us to be a little bit better and challenged us with some different expectations and held us accountable. And, I don't think the success that we had as players throughout, my 4 and 5 years here would have been possible without him coming in and kind of changing the voice a little bit of our program. I was extremely fortunate, outside of those 3 coaches, I was extremely fortunate to play for Todd Glazer. And, he was a guy that, as a defensive coordinator, when I played here, would have ran through a wall for him. And he also gave me an opportunity to be the first, to get a coaching position at Marietta College. And I was a defensive lineman. A lot of cheeseburgers to go, okay? A lot of Papa John's and Toppers triple-ordered breadsticks, okay? But he told me, he goes, I think you'd be a great coach, and I'd like you to come down and coach running backs. And I had no idea what that was. I had no idea what coaching entailed, but it was something that he saw in me, and he believed in me, and he gave me an opportunity and told me I was going to be great at it. I can't thank him enough, because I don't think that I would have an opportunity to be a coach where I am today in the places I've been without playing for him as a player, but also just him giving me an opportunity in this profession. I've had an opportunity to be at 5 other programs beside this. Marietta, Ohio, I had an opportunity to come back to UW-Stout, Todd Strop and Rod Carey, and work for those guys for a season and really just see a different way to coach football, see a different way to interact with players. Had an opportunity to go out to Colgate University and work for Dick Biddle and Dan Hunt, 2 great men out there that they had expectations, and that was one of the top academic schools in the country, but was also an extremely successful football program, and showed me that how you can coach guys and how you can have high expectations in both aspects of what they are as a student athlete. That was an awesome 2.5 years of my life, and a great opportunity for me as a coach. I've taken a lot of what they gave to me in those 2.5 years with me no matter where I went. McAllister College was really where I think I started becoming a football coach, and a lot of that I owe to Tony Jennison. Tony was the first guy I met on campus here my freshman year. So he was a graduate assistant from lacrosse. He came up, he shook my hand, said, "Welcome, who are you, where are you from?" And had a chance to go back and work for him as an offensive coordinator. And he took a chance on me. I was 28 years old. He said, "I'm not going to fire you. You can call whatever you want." Okay, sounds like a good deal. But that was really an opportunity for us to build a program. Every other place I've been at, they had, this is what we do and this is how we do it. At McAllister, we had to figure out what it was and how we wanted to build that program. And then we had to stay strong to what we believed in, no matter what. No matter highs and lows of the season, we had to stay strong to what we wanted to do and what we believed, how was going to achieve that success. And I've learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from him in terms of how to be a coach, how to balance work-life. I'm still working on that one, I know. But for him to give me that opportunity, at a young age and believe in me that what we could do together at that place, it was a huge deal for me. I thank him every single time I see him. And then the last 3 years to be at a place like University of Minnesota Duluth with Kurt Wiese. Kurt was a guy that was here as a coach. He was our offensive line coach. He was a graduate assistant here. I was a GA for him down in Marietta, Ohio. It was a great experience to come into a situation where expectations were raised. You had to be at your best. And it challenged me as a coach every single week to know that if I don't give my best and I don't work my butt off for these kids, we're going to have a chance to lose on Saturday. And a lot of the expectation part and a lot of how to build a program and sustain a program and work in season, out of season, is a lot of what I'll carry over and what we're going to install here at Eau Claire. And those coaches and all those places and all those coaches that I worked with, they all had a huge impact on me in terms of what I want to do with the football program. And I'm excited to hit the ground running here at Eau Claire. I'm excited to start pushing this place in a new direction. And it's going to be built, a program that's going to be built off of accountability and trust and being okay with having high expectations. This is a place where I think the community, the academic criteria, the academic, structure and the values that are here, it leads itself to a certain type of student athlete. And if you don't want to be excellent at something, if you don't want to be the best at something, you're at a bad place, you're at a bad institution. Because you can't just skate through this academically. You can't skate through this in the community because they want to see you and they want to interact with you. And we certainly won't have that criteria within our football program. And It's not so much that we will be concerned of, the successes or the failures that we've had in the past. We won't hide from those. We'll learn from those and we'll win from those. But this is about where we want to go in the future. And this is about how we want this program to be made. And it was the first thing that I said when I sat down with the search committee when I was on campus, is that I can go out and find 80 guys to field the football team right now on campus. But what I'm here for is I'm here to build a football program. And I'm here to build something extremely special. I'm looking forward to working not only with members of the community and on campus, but getting a staff here on place that can start to put a plan in place, our vision in place for these guys, for these players to be able to hear us, to understand what it is that we're looking for and the direction that we're headed. It's going to be a lot of hard work. We won't shy away from that. We're going to embrace that, and that's going to become part of our mantra. We'll be willing to do just a little bit extra because that's what's going to take for us in the fall to win football games, a little extra. So thank you all for being here today. I don't know that I thought that I would have an opportunity like this when I started coaching, 14 years ago, and to be up here in front of all of you guys, to be the leader of this football program is something that I take extremely seriously, and we will come to work every single day with the mindset that we're not working only for us in the football program, but for everybody that's involved with Eau Claire Athletics and Eau Claire football program, past and present. Thank you.
Well, the difficult, I think, part is over, but we wanted to open it up. I know we have members of the media here. Be a time to ask some questions for both anybody here up on stage, including Aaron. Aaron's ready to field a question or two. So, anybody have a media question? Yes.
For Coach Larson.
Yes.
You walked off the field at Carson Park in November of 2002. Could you have imagined your career unfolding to a point where you could come back and then be on that sideline a year later?
No. I probably thought I was going to go and probably go hardwood floors with my dad actually after that was over. So I didn't know that football was something that I didn't know that football was a part of my future at that point in time. But I think what I remember the most about walking off there was just how much I loved that experience, and I loved my 4 years of playing there. And I think it was one of those things from our standpoint that, as players, when we walked off on that day, it was a great feeling. It was our last game that we were going to play together as a group. There weren't any tears. It was happiness. It was hugs because of just what that place meant to us and what that experience meant to us. And actually be able to come back now and run out there in September, yeah, I don't know that I expected it, but I'm sure looking forward to it.
Success that you've seen from schools around this area in the conference alone, like Whitewater and St. Thomas and cities, that make you know that their kids are out there. You just got to convince them to come here to Eau Claire.
Yeah, we can win here. You can win anywhere. If you could have told me that we could have won at McAllister College or Marietta, Ohio, people that have been around there for a long time would have probably told you that you're nuts. But I think it's about setting some expectations and a vision and then finding those guys that aren't going to be afraid of that challenge. And, yeah, we can win here. And I think the biggest thing from my standpoint moving forward is going to be talking with individuals and talking with players about why we can and why we will and not why we can't and why we haven't. Those days, I don't want to live in the past with that part of it. So I know there's great football players out there. I know there's great football players here in Northwest Wisconsin and Minnesota, Illinois. We're going to find those guys. We'll bring them on campus and hit the ground running with them. That was easy.
Yeah. Any other questions? Like I said, you'll have time for one-on-one interviews following this part of the announcement. So thank you again for everybody to be here. Welcome the Larson family back to campus. Coach Yango, you might have an assistant coach. So thank you. Great day to be a Blue Gold today. And thank you all for being here and supporting us through this process. Excited for the future. The new era has begun. Thank you.
Nice job. Thank you again for that.
Nice job.
Can I do a couple minutes just to say
I
thank
guess
you
we
to
gotta do
those
one more picture.
Okay.